Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I just wanted to tap into with you. I'm doing a pre-recording and I'm going to post it. I was supposed to come live, but time is going by and I felt like this is what I'm led to do. So I'm doing a pre-recording and then I'm gonna post it. But we are currently going over the 5 life zones on my channel on my Instagram page, and this second series is going to be posted on both Instagram and YouTube. Yes, yes. Okay, so for those of you who haven't been here since we started this series, or haven't been here since we started back, or so I started back popping out, then I welcome you to actually go back and go and watch the previous videos. Or if you're watching this and you feel like this has given you all the juice that you need to help you to really maximize your action into 2023, then I want to celebrate you. But tap in, make sure you lock yourself in by following me on my platform, by even clicking the link in my bio and visiting my website at smiledynasty.com, smiledynasty.com, smiledynasty.com. Of course, there are links in my bio that you can actually take advantage of, like, booking a one-on-one with me, like even buying me coffee. Yes, if you want to treat your girl, then go ahead and do that by clicking the link in my bio on my Instagram page, right? You can also visit my Amazon shop where I have, gratitude journals and even books that you can gift to a teen or as a mom parenting teens. This book is going to be phenomenal for you, just to reassure you, give you some guidance, and to encourage you as we're parenting our children during these times, right? The teenage years, it can be so questionable, it could be so emotional, it can be such a learning stepping stone. And to just have a book, I'm talking about it. So let me show you. I'm talking about it, so let me show you. Sorry, battery's dying, right? Show you what that looks like. Let me plug my phone in. Yeah, so this is what that looks like. And you could also get that on, again, smiledynasty.com, smiledynasty.com, right? So many good things in store for you there. We also have, things that can help you on your weight management journey, to help you, amazing natural products and compression garments that will help you to, again, enjoy your journey. Put a smile on your face while you're on your journey, having you looking snatched and healthy on your journey. Okay, so let's get into these 5 life zones. I'm gonna go over them quickly again individually, and then we are breaking them down this week. You are gonna get the 2-for-1 today, because I'm gonna cover zone 2 and zone 3 today, because I want you guys to walk away with clarity. We're starting off with crisis, so I don't want to end off with that, right? I want us to jump and dive right into clarity, so that, again, moving forward, it is the 31st, right? So going into a new year, you're waking up into a brand new year according to, y'all world. You're going into a new year. You see, I believe that a new year is in March, April, but that's a whole different story, and we not here for that. Yes, I know I have one airing in for those observers. Also, I have the other one here. I just never, yeah, don't need to. So zone 1, complacency, right? We talked about that. We broke that down, gave you a few tips, even gave you an affirmation to walk away with. So go ahead and go look at that in the on my Instagram page, right over by IGTV Live. Your girl got you. Today we're gonna go into crisis zone. Today we're also going to go into zone 3, which is clarity zone. Okay, and not Sunday, but possibly Monday, we are going to go into contentment zone. and zone 5 we are going to be in forward flow. So people are always talking about, I'm in the zone, I'm in the work zone. We always using things like that, speeches like that. So we're breaking down the 5 life zone that we operate out of as human becomings, right? And as I'm learning more about these zones and as I'm putting them in different perspectives, I'm sharing it with you, right? Because it's really something that we can learn from. It's really something that we can now have awareness with so that we can, have forward movement in our lives and in the situations that we come across in our lives. So again, I have some notes here and I'm absolutely going to be using them because I have so much on my mind. But as a guide, I'm going to have them here. So the crisis zone, in this zone, it's all about movement and momentum, movement and discovery, right? In this zone, it's like a fight or flight mode, right? You're in that emergency state because again, you're operating out of, anxieties, you're operating out of traumas, you're operating out of extreme stress or terrified situations. You're always on the edge. These are people who are operating um, out of the crisis zone. This zone is typically a place where you can navigate and to either way to complacency, right? You can still navigate back to zone 1, being in this zone, right? Because it's easy for you to really get comfortable in the zone, but also with being in crisis zone can also bring you clarity, right? You can come up to a few situations and scenarios in your life where you come to a pinnacle point in your life where you're like, you know what, I realize this thing brings me so much anxiety. So you're bringing clarity to yourself now that, you know what, I can now avoid this. I can now protect my space. So many people in the past couple of years have been in that zone where they are bringing clarity and they're coming out of traumas, they're coming out of the anxiety, they're finding methods and applying these methods, right, and moving past this crisis stage, right? Because again, they came to a place of clarity. And you see why I'm discussing the two together, because they work and intertwine so well together, even though you can get stuck on any one of these zones entirely individually, right? So again, it's typically a catalyst for you. Also, this crisis zone 2 is typically a catalyst for you to navigate into other zones like the clarity zones, the contentment zone, the complacency zone, and the forward moving flow when pushed. So now many of you who are in zone 2 may feel like, after watching this, you're going to decide to go activate and move into your forward flow, right? Because people in this zone again need someone to give them that gentle push. So this may be your gentle push to move you into the forward flow, that you can skip the contentment stage and the clarity stage and even the possibility of going backwards into the compliance stage, right? Into that zone. Okay, whatever zone you're in, I want you to give yourself break, give yourself grace, celebrate yourself, understand, because again, you're bringing awareness, you're bringing clarity to yourself, right? So many people were freaking out again a few years ago because they were unaware. It triggered a lot of anxieties, right? Because they were limited, a lot of crises, a lot of emergencies, a lot of things happen in those few years because again of the uncertainty. So people were reacting, you know, and not realizing, because they're not sure of what the future may hold. They that job that was so secure had to downsize. That job that was so secure, you know, that house that they were living in, that apartment, that relationship that was so secure before the tests, before the trials, before we came across what the world, what we all went through, right? Before that, it was secure. But when that was like seemingly taken away, there was a lot of crisis, a lot of emergency, a lot of major events that were happening, right? So if you've been in the compliancy mode, or zone too long, right? That crazy emergency, that feel better, um, it's somewhat feel better than being in no emergency. Let me give you some other scenarios where, giving yourself a break is going to help you relieve, right? If you've been here for a while and you are used to being on an alert and an emergency mode, right? It can be a challenging power downer for you. So that will make that person maybe push over into, substance abuse and, bad habits and things like that. Again, because you're being in the crisis mode, it's so challenging and difficulties for you to sleep, right? So you're losing sleep. And these are just some of the cons or the negative aspects of just being in this zone. And I'm going to go in more into detail of some of the positive aspects, and then I'll lead you into the challenges that come with that, and then closing out into basically how to get the most out of just being in the zone. Okay. um so some of the positive aspect, it doesn't always have to be, the negatives or the cons. You don't always have to be that drama queen living in the crisis situation, right? There is positive to it, and some of the positive may look like, right, a lot of movements and a lot of energy happens in this season, in this zone, right? Because then you'll be able to be out there and trying, just really figuring out stuff, because really, again, that inner compass is allowing you to know and bring awareness to, what really needs to be done. It's actually just for you to actually take action and get it done, right? um when an actual emergency, you are fully present and aware, because you live in a state so long that you are basically immune to situations, so that you are now that expert who knows how to handle that situation, how to, bring yourself back, or calm down that situation, right? Another one I wanna there's so many here that I have, and I'm just really selecting the ones that I want to talk about. You've experienced, enough pain, and extremes can be powerful for this catalyst for making new decisions and life choices, right? Because you've experienced enough pain, because what pain is, you also have made sure you develop the strength, you've developed the skill that is required, right? That you can handle, and that you have that power within to just, again, solve and find that solution to the problem, right? After being pushed to the limit, crisis can occasionally result in a quantum leap into the forward flow zone. And this is what we talk about when you come to that pinnacle movement, when we're having this conversation now, when you're identifying that, what, you have been operating out of your crisis zone in 2022, and you're making that decision right now, today, as you're watching this video, as I'm breaking down the 5 life zones that we as human becoming operate out of, as we're bringing clarity to our walk, in our health and our wellness, in our finances, in our personal life, in our relationships, in whatever aspects, in whatever area, right? You know that right now is that time that it's to take that quantum leap into that forward flow movement, because one, I am here expressing how important it is, and two, you are watching this and you now are getting confirmation of something that your inner compass has been telling you from the beginning, right? And now you're taking ownership on that and you're going onward forward. When you start operating in the positive aspects of this, some of the qualities or the challenges that you may experience is the quality of sleep you get, right? The quality of sleep you may get, truly resting that body and being able to power down, right? It can become hard, if almost impossible, right? But then again, having those techniques, having those tools on hand, knowing what to do when these things do occur, will help relieve you in these zones, right? We already talked about it can lead to addictions, downer substances, because you're always on amp, you're always on go again, because of the high anxiety that happens during the crisis zone, right? All right, so let's move on now to how to get most out of this zone. So we talked about, I brought some clarity to you about, zone 2, which is a crisis zone, what it is, what happens to us during this time, the pros and the cons of being in this zone. And now I want to bring to you how you can get the most out of this zone when you are in this zone. So you have to decide, guys, enough is enough. You have to decide that enough is enough. You have to have that made up mind. If you find yourself keep going over a situation, a circumstance, or a scenario, it's because you haven't been really fed up. You haven't really had enough. There hasn't been a big enough shift or trauma that happens for you to say, you know what, I have no choice but to create a discipline around this and make sure that it's never going to happen again, or I'm going to continue doing this because I know it's the best for me, right? But right now you have to decide that, listen, enough is enough. You got to create new mantras and say, remember and remind yourself that peace is productive, right? Being in your peace, walking in your peace, choosing peace today is a very productive thing. It's a very loving and self-loving thing for yourself. So make sure you are choosing peace, okay? When you reach into peace, then you're going also into the reaching into that contentment zone, right? And stay there as much as possible. When you are in the zone of, when you're in zone 2, crisis zone, go into that zone of contentment. When it go into that zone of peace, that feeling of peace, so that, and be content there as often as possible. Channel your energy into productive activities. One of the things that is very calming to the mind, to the body, even to your emotions, are the exercises that you can do. Moving causes momentum, that is in your activities, but that is also in your body, that is also in the energy, right? Clean, create, right? What is your creative flow, right? What is it that you love to do? Was it drawing? Was it coloring? Was it painting? What is that artistic skill that you have? Word puzzles, word searches, yeah, those things, crossword puzzles, those things. It's so calm, it's so relaxing. Find something, build puzzles, do something that is engaging. All symptoms are all um I'm sorry. Okay, let me turn that off because it's the distractions. It's the distraction. Okay. So basically what we're working towards is trading that crisis to clarity and that calmness and contentment, right? So that you can go into your clarity, creative flow. All right. A great mantra for this, guys, is peace is productive. We talked about that. Peace is productive. And, right, I am willing to reach for it, or I am willing to experience it. Peace is productive and I'm willing to experience it. You have to decide that you're willing to let go of crisis, to let go of drama, and choose peace. Okay. Or you can say, I am willing to trade crisis for clarity and flow, right? I am willing to exchange crisis for clarity and flow. We got to speak into the, especially this year, guys. This year actually comes to number 7, right? 2023 equals to the number 7. So this for me is the year number 7. And I've been talking to you guys for the past couple of years about the number 7. I've just been aligned with so many people with because of that number, right? I've overcome so many things in my years within that amount of time, 7 years. So many good things have happened in the 7th year for me. So I'm celebrating and I'm looking forward to, just what is going to just unfold and just come to life in 2023, right? So the year number 7 for me and for everybody, right? If you own into that, if you really, work around that, it's a phenomenal thing. So the clarity zone, this is also a movement and discovery zone, right? You become more hardworking, you start asking more questions, so you're getting more clarity, right? You're figuring a lot of things out, you're doing a lot of research, you're reaching out to people, right? You're getting motivated and you're exploring around these times. So these are some of the things that you will experience. You'll feel like when you're in the zone of clarity. Clarity is such a high momentum, high frequency zone, and in this, it involves a little ranting, yes, because again, you're releasing some things, you're shifting some things, it's unfamiliar to you and the people around you, so it's going to be some ranting, some complaining, some frustration, just a little bit of stress, but not as much as when you're in crisis, or even things you conjure up when you are in complacency zone, right? But clarity zone is that zone that is just flowing into it, that frequency, the high frequency. You're not at the very high peak as yet, but you're going there. You're somewhere in between. Hey, if I stop this flow, I can quickly fall right back into the lesser, or if I continue flowing here, then it's eventually going to push me more into forward flowing, right? So clarity zone, again, the catalyst to clarity is just the forward flow and really contentment. You want to feel content, you're going to feel content when it comes to just being in this flow. You're feeling amazing, you're feeling like, yes, things are working out for me, right? You want to just at times give yourself a break when it comes to this flow. Why? Because if you've moved up from the complacency zone, this is a much better place, right, for you to be, right? Everyone spends some time here. So sorry. So like I said, clarity zone. So a lot of people spend their time here because, again, we're in that flow, right? Life is always in motions. Like, this is why I say movements and business as usual. I've been saying this for years. Movements, business as usual, right? Movements, business as usual. Keep it moving, right? So a lot of people stay in this motion. Why? Because a lot of changes happen here, right? So there can be great satisfaction and treasure hunting and things that happen here. It's solving puzzles. And if if that's one of your natures and you enjoy those things, then you really, really will enjoy being in the clarity zone. So when I talk about, enjoy the process, enjoy the flow, right? Enjoy the journey. There's so many things to look, to just be grateful for, so many things to look forward to as you're growing, as you're developing, as you're healing, right? For you to get to a place of dominate, you have to go through the layers, through the process of healing, right? Growing from those wounds, right? Developing new habits, new character, right? And then you're able to dominate. So some of the positive things, did we talk about some negative things? Some of the negative or cons to being in that clarity zone, and not too much, y'all. You may be frustrated, you get a little annoyance, again, because the elements that are against you, again, you are exploring and experiencing or discovering a new chapter in your life, because you're now become clear to your vision in that season. So the outside elements, like, those familiar spirits, those people who know you, who are used to you doing certain things in a certain way, may cause a little friction. So you may get a little frustrated, you may get a little annoyed, right? You may get a little annoyed, you may get a little frustrated, right? Many people may hang out here, and it's quite all right, because that's where you are in your season, right? Embrace it, and enjoy the journey. Some of the positive aspects. Okay, so let me read what I have here. So when you're in clarity zone, this is where aha ultimately happens. New decisions are made, right? You are taking actions and are in motion. Things are happening and you're starting to see the changes. Like, you're seeing the things you have been working on in the dark, working on behind the scenes, working on, come to life in the physical, in the present. You start seeing little dips and little peaks of gratitude, and little peaks of just your manifestation, your creation coming to fruition. So this is the time when you want to celebrate, right? You start to see more options and more ways to explore your ideas. You can fine tune questions to get better answers and get even clearer about your WDYW, right? What do you want, right? This is your clarity. And it all starts with that. What is it that you want? What do you want? You're being your GPS, right? Nobody knows you better than you. You're willing to try new things and expand, because now you're operating in that higher frequency. Some challenges, you're over analyzing or being indecisive from too much data. Like, you're getting so much information, so much clarity, you start to question yourself. You are delaying your blessings by just not acting or reacting as soon as you get that clarity. You're debating, you're maybe asking other people's opinion or permission, right? Give yourself permission to be great this year. Give yourself permission to be great in any zone, in any season, in any situation you're in, right? Give yourself that permission, right? You could be a workaholic in the zone, right? Because you know you want to do the work now because it's fresh in your mind. You have the momentum. You are so clear. A project can start anyway from starting now and finishing later to weeks and months, and you're just on, focus driven and just doing the work, right? Um, do you want more challenges? I feel like I've given you enough. Um, Again, I'm aware I'm pre-recording. So another thing, you can miss all the good stuff, the really, really good stuff, because again, you're over analyzing. So how to get the most out of this zone and move forward, move onward and upward. Let the problem and challenges get you moving, right? Like I said, do not cause that delay. Get moving. Movement causes momentum. Curve out time to charge your superpowers. Sometimes we get stuck, right, in problem solving mode, but miss the answer. You don't want to be that one who was stuck, right? And that's one of the benefits of having access to someone, an accountability partner, a life coach, a mentor, someone who's able to help you formulate the answers for yourself, right? Paint the scenarios, get the information out of you, so that that you can be clear on what it is that you want to do, so that you can now move forward, onward and upward. Take those actions, take those steps that you need. Again, help you to get it in, get it out, and move on. So let yourself feel how you feel, express and release if needed, then move on by either accepting it or doing something to change it that feels helpful, constructive, right? And constructive, helpful and constructive. Um, Celebrate your ahas. Celebrate your ahas, right? Because you are the compass. You are the eye expert. You are the one who know that this is going to work out for your life. This is going to work out for your current situation. This is going to help you to elevate and to level up and to shift, right? When we talk about we're breaking all these generational curses, it talks about it starts with the things that we're saying to ourselves. We are saying spells and curses throughout our day, in our life, over and over again, on a regular and consistent basis. So be watchful, be mindful of the things that we speak into our life, the things that we say about ourselves, right? Let's start focusing on bringing clarity to those things. Today's mantra, guys, to close that off with that one, is peace is productive and I will. I am willing to reach for, sorry, peace is productive and I am willing to experience now. I mean, you could say reach for it now, or you can say experience now. That was my mommy era. I was trying to listen out because I thought I heard something. Every question has an answer. Every puzzle problem has a solution, and my clarity can come as soon as now. Every question has an answer. Every puzzle or problem has a solution, and my clarity can come when? Now. Not tomorrow, not next year, not next week, not next to never. Now. When? Right now. So if you were here for the entirety of the video, I want you to write that down in the comments now. Okay? When? Now. Do it now. Don't wait. So peace, love, unity, and abundance. I love you. Love yourself first. Love yourself the most. Okay, and I'm looking forward what 2023 is going to bring us closer, bring us more prosperity, bring us more love, bring us more community, bring us more accountability, right? And I wish you guys all the best for the upcoming year. All right, so I'll see you shortly. See you next year. Well, what are we saying? I don't know, but you know. I don't know. Well, you better know, because we're going to bring some clarity to your vision in 2023. Again, I love you. Love yourself first. Self-love is your first love. You better recognize. You better recognize.